Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous winter's day here in Gauteng? We are loving it. I see our dear Pepper's Echo. Something's gone up with Pepper's Echo, but never mind. Yeah, how did you enjoy that intro? Isn't that music? It's like get the popcorn. Like dear Sir was saying. Here we go. Here he is.
Sorry.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. So
Yes, yes.
stoked to be on your show, Ruth. Thank you very, very much for having me. It's
Absolutely, with pleasure. I'm so glad that you would partake in the fun we're going to have this afternoon. Woo!
I am flattered and privileged.
Oh, shucks. I tell you,
Wonderful.
yeah. The amazing thing about Marvel is that, or like the whole entertainment industry, even like people look into the whole, what's going on in the media, and it's all a distraction, and like Pirates of the Caribbean. What an amazing show. What an incredibly, and the only reason it was ever amazing or is amazing is because of a certain character called Captain Jack Sparrow. And the only man in the world that can properly do a proper Captain Jack Sparrow is the Johnny Depp Captain Jack
Johnny Depp,
Sparrow.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah. So entertainment's ahoy. And Stan Lee, being part of Marvel, he created it. He like I listened to an interview where he basically said like his brand couldn't stop. He could do nothing else, but he had to write, and he
He's
had
one of the
to.
most amazing creators that there's ever been. I mean, he could really, he's artistically, definitely, through and through.
Mm,
He captures
he's
you.
he's part. He the beginning stuff. I try to go through some of the beginning stuff, and it's honestly for me, it's like a spiritual awakening, a journey. You know, um, it's almost he saw things back then that Socrates and all the rest were seeing, and there's a certain amount of memory of humanity, in the creation
He was
of
almost a philosopher way
Marvel.
back then.
Yes, definitely. Stanley is there. I would call him. I'd hold him as a maybe he's reincarnate. Like maybe he's a Socrates reincarnate. True
No,
story. True story.
it created and he created a wonderful imaginary uh, universe. I was going to say land, but I must say universe for families that stretched through all age barriers.
Right.
Uh, uh,
Circa?
through
Do we know the
through
circa?
times. I mean, before TV and there was only a bit of radio, there were comic books. And this is what stretched your mind and exercised your mind and took you away from reality and put you in another place.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. I tell you, the weather is so gorgeous here. It's the people buzzing. Life is coming, even though we're experiencing winter now.
Hmm.
It's completely. You can feel the energy, and that's how I know. Like I get Stanley. I love that there's more to being maybe human or having a mutant. Like living in that fantasy world. If you were bullied at school, if you were always the odd one out, diving into a comic was the best.
Escapism.
Perfect.
Escapism.
Escapism. Yes.
You,
Sorry,
you
my
you
bangles
become
make.
somebody
I
else.
had
I
the
mean,
bangles on.
it's like playing online games these days. I mean, you go into a different world. I mean, as old as what I am, I'm still a kid at heart. I play online
Yes.
games,
So
and I can get lost there for quite some time. There was
yeah.
none of this, and you got lost in your heroes and in their worlds, and you were never the underdog anymore. You were the hero. Uh, you were the winner. You were the strong. You were the clever. You were the fast. You were the furious. You were the rebellious.
If I had a superpower. So if you had a superpower. No, but this question gets asked over and over again. I need more time. I need more time.
How
I'm
many?
struggling just to be me for now. It's a whole level of consciousness.
Who
Like
would you
struggling to
want
be
to
me.
be?
Hey, pardon?
Who would you want to be?
Who? Who? I wouldn't know how to be anyone else but me. I don't know. For a day or for like 2 weeks, I'd love to be Marilyn Monroe. Yes.
Yeah,
Or
not
Sophia Loren.
constantly, but I just like to. Isn't there
Yes,
a
no,
new?
I've partaken today. I have indeed. Forgive me. Okay, so we were talking, Stanley. We've gone completely sidetracked, like
Yeah,
I always do. Like I always do.
no worries.
Yes, yes. No.
I help a lot. Trust me, I spade away.
but the Marvel, so I like, and it's just magical stuff. And yes, I actually had a scarf on that I love, and maybe I should go and get it. And it's actually full of colors, and it's beautiful. And we so I think the pendulum is swinging, and this is what we going. You know, you can probably see it, the eclipse, the solar eclipse
I don't know.
tonight,
I'm not much of an outside person. I have my computer room.
because it's too hot. Because it's too hot in Cambodia.
It has an aircon.
It has an aircon. So I think there's definitely a pendulum swing with what's going on with media, and people honestly, I think, are so bamboozled by everything that they're now deciding to not only experiment with other things, but partake in other things. No one knows who they are. And the one common journey that goes through our comics and so often a superhero is someone who's lost everything, who is completely, the dream that they thought they would have is not that, right? Like you look at, Spider-Man was just this nerdy kid. He was
growing up with his aunt and his uncle.
Yes. And he finds he's got to become himself. And this is the journey throughout every hero. They identify as anyone, because you have to be responsible for yourself and for those around you in a good manner. And you have to, one who takes responsibility, and that's a message also.
I'll make a statement. I think and I've got written down here somewhere in amongst my papers, so when I look down, just ignore me. But the thing is, the superhero universe, Marvel universe, was always it's a family franchise. It's wholesome family, and as you said, the morals, the struggle, the never give up, the you can do it, and always be kind to people, and it had an integral line that ran through it always. There was a line of integrity, a line of entertainment, and a line of family in it. That I think that brought people up in a good way, because I mean most of the actors, most of the characters have a gentlemanly or ladylike appeal to them and have a good
goddesses.
message.
Are you kidding me, honey? If I could fit into a cat suit now,
honey, if I could fit into that cat suit.
Listen, forget men fitting into cat suits. I want to wear a cat suit, okay? No, like I don't know, like but I will. Watch the space. It's gonna.
I can handle Thor's hammer, but anyway.
No, listen, there's nothing sexier. I'm sorry. It's an ideal. And in a way, it keeps us grounded because we know that's entertainment. No one is this perfect human being. And everyone at the moment is trying to present this almost Marvelian type persona. And there's nothing inside. I mean, Captain, my favorite, in fact, I've just realized who my favorite Marvel is. And it's Captain America. It's Jeff Rogers. Is it Jeff Rogers? That's his name, yes? Jeff Rogers?
Is it Jeff? I don't know if it's Jeff. It is Rogers. I think Jeff might be.
Correct us, people. Correct us. I just realized I haven't even partaken in any of the comments. Forgive me.
Cameron was saying he was a kid. He wasn't allowed comics or anything. I wasn't allowed comics either until I was quite old. My father was against them. And I know the one day we were walking around Durban when we went on holiday, and I was about 6 years old. And I was looking at one CNA which was open on the corner, and I was staring, and my mom looked at him and said, "Oh, come on, Dad." And he looked at them and he looked at them, and there was one that didn't seem so bad. It looked like it was the Phantom, and he pointed. He said, "You can have that one." And that was like, but yeah,
Yes,
still.
that experience of going into a toy shop, and I actually had the whole He-Man story, but that was Mattel. That was bought by Mattel. But that's a stream for another day. That's the
Let's
toys
get
are a
back to
stream for another
okay.
day.
We're
Yes.
back on. So what's
So
happened
Captain, yeah.
with Marvel is basically we're saying what's happened, because it's been this beautiful journey that was actually born out of a mind and minds that have absolutely created a wonderful, wonderful ride, and imagination and family and wholesomeness, and somewhere like over here it shared a common culture. So it was the movies and the comics was something that we still shared a common culture with. It didn't matter who you were, you went and enjoyed this movie, you enjoyed that book. It stretched across boundaries. Nobody in the audience actually turned up and said, no, guy should have been a girl, or girl should have liked the girl, guy should have liked the guy. No, should have been two guys as parents. You laugh, Doctor Strange. Spoiler alert! Take your volume off if you're wanting to hear now. But it's got no. It's got no handle on the whole story. But one memory that this girl has, and she remembers. She goes, "Oh yes, my parents, my two moms," and then you see the two moms looking after her. And no, and then it's my two moms.
I listened to
in China, that part was cut out totally. They won't. There's a part in Avengers. They're having to edit these movies, Avengers Endgame, where Captain America is sitting in a self-help group or whatever, and the one guy starts. I don't know. I can't remember, but he was like in one of those little, like alcoholic groups or something to that effect. Or
in real life or in Marvel?
No. It was in the movie.
I haven't seen him. I watched Morbius last night.
Okay, no, but he was sitting in there, and one of the guys that in Endgame, well, it was in Endgame, but don't worry, it's got nothing to do with the big story. One of the chaps in the little circle starts talking up, and he's like, I'm gay, and I'm da-da-da-da. They changed that whole thing in Russia to heterosexual. He was like, no, just, I have another problem. It's got nothing to do with, the world does not conform to it yet, as such. They're starting to call the MCU the MCU. I don't know if you've seen that.
EU.
No, MCU. It has now become the MCU.
Mm-hmm. No, it's I don't even know what that means. A she-you sounds like some kind of goat.
SHEU. Don't make me explain crap on you, please.
I get it.
Really. No.
I get it. It's insane. It's like, but what I wanted to focus on is like, we all of us, we all have the same, like, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We all need to feel safe and protected and have a sense of belonging,
Confidence.
Like, and this is I think what Stan Lee also realized, that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you think you are or where you've come from. The people you carry around you are so important, so important. Hello, Arbeit. I see him there.
How's it, Arbeit?
Yeah, I'm sort of going very philosophical, but I was blown away by. I listened to this incredible podcast, and for now I don't have the name, but basically, and I listened to snippets of Stan Lee. It was actually Stan Lee talking, and he just said his mind can't keep up, and his energy level was so intense that he almost felt super heroic, like he couldn't get the words out onto a page, and these characters and these beings, and what's right and what's wrong. And are we born with a moral compass? I think we are. Or do you disagree? Do you think it's completely how we are brought up?
I think everybody's born with integrity. Everyone has the integral ship. How the rudder guides you through your life is how it is developed, I'd say. And what you choose to use as your rudder. I think we're all born with an integral ship. and how that ship is guided through the seas and which way the rudder takes you is how your integrity develops throughout. And I think, as I say, as much as what we speak, or as much as what people were against, as I said, my dad was one who just like didn't believe in comics and that. As much as people were against it, it had a ruddered, it had a ruddered integral line through it as such. Where did Ruth go? I'm left alone. Okay. But yes, I do believe it has a certain amount of integrity within it. I think we're all born with integrity. We're all born with the needs, as Ruth has actually pointed out, that we're looking at a Maslow's type of hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
And, thank you. I was about to start crying. And, but we're all born with those needs. And we need to feel confident. We need to feel loved. We're all born with basic needs as such. And we're born with an integral boat. And I think a lot of people feel what I always say, what you're surrounded with. And I think people like Stan Lee just found a way to actually motivate, build, lift up, give people opportunities in a very, very simple way, yet powerful.
Very. Absolutely. His vibration was intense. And I think you get people that you meet maybe 2-3 of them in a lifetime. If you're lucky, you get to have family who are people normally naturally like that. And, you know, and that's the thing. The counsel you keep becomes your family, I think, as well. But your family, it's everyone can come to a greater good where you, at the end of the day, it's just an inner gut feeling. You can't explain it. You can't.
The best thing
Stanley
I
was
heard,
good at explaining.
I think it was was it the first Doctor Strange? That he was having to deal with the Ancient One.
Yes, way in the beginning.
Yeah, and then he was like not getting it right, and eventually she, which was usually an Asian old man, which is now a Celtic woman, but yeah, we'll get to that, turns around and says to him, "You've eventually got it. The secret of being happy, or your life secret." And here's the bottom line: it's not about you. These days, life is so much about us. It's so much
all
about us.
narcissistic. It's all selfish. It's all narcissistic. It's all, what can I get out of it?
Has it offended me? Am I happy with that? Is it working in my favor? Not what have I done for you?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you take a look, going back to your Marvel comics, exactly what you were saying is everybody in that comic or in the Marvel universe has always been people that do for others, putting themselves second. They, first of all, as you've pointed out, come from probably less fortunate or circumstances which are harder than what most of us have. And secondly, their whole life's mission is to give without expecting back. And usually they don't get back. And it's also in an unknown way, where we tend to like put the video camera on and watch me hand out this 2 rand or something like that. I don't know what you give out these days anymore there, but yeah.
You won't buy much with 2 rand, I can tell you. The 2 rands become like 20 cents.
No, well, if you're donating to somebody, yeah, I know there's that gun. Let me not go off the story.
Bread, a loaf of bread, a decent whole grain, healthy A grade loaf of bread, health bread, right, will set you back 20 rand, 21 rand for wholesome stuff. Home, you know, no, for realsies, nothing mass produced, nothing like, I mean, I wish I could eat, you know, well, listen, healthier lifestyle is definitely expensive, and
definitely it's far too expensive to maintain.
I made the most. I don't know if you love cooking. So I love cooking. That's why I look so good. So what's bothering me is the TV. Now, between the puppy and all the people that run through here on a weekend, I lose the remote. But I'm going to quickly have a squiz at it because that's bothering me and I don't know how to unplug it. I'm such a poops. I tried to type it, but it didn't type. Forgive me. I know this is entertaining, folks. We have to. Best thing to do.
So yeah, let's take a look at some of the things. What's Cameron got?
Forgive me.
Yeah, there's just something. The voice of the artist for Shiro was an LGBT plus person, but it didn't matter. Yeah, I agree, Cameron. Arbot says, but it didn't make an issue of it. It was like a vegetarian. Yeah. These days, it's an issue.
But when I talk about the pendulum swinging, everyone can have an issue with everyone, right? And we're supposed to. What was so incredible about being these magnificent superheroes is watching their journey and their struggle, realizing that fact. That happiness is and it's hard, like all these things, like self-acceptance, realizing you can only be who you are, right? And I know you want to dive into the work thing, and I've been watching a lot of no, like I'm worried. Basically, I believe that I'm too nervous to watch the show you watched recently, the one you spoke of, right?
Doctor Strange.
Because
that's not a problem. I don't want to watch Eternals.
Was it entertaining, in your opinion?
I like Doctor Strange. It wasn't too much. It had the pokes in it, but it wasn't too much that will actually throw me. You know what? I just get that like, oh, yeah, I can see you trying to shove that down my throat, but it wasn't too much. I found it entertaining. Once again, the same as what you said. I went into Doctor Strange for the diamond class seat, which I was intending to sleep through in it. So my expectation, I was so tired. We've got crap furniture that we have at home here. I can't sit in anything comfortably. I can't lie down comfortably. So I was really looking for 2 hours.
My finishings.
You have no. I'm telling you, you do not know this place. So I was really going in to support DVD because he wanted to see it, and getting that like comfy boy chair, and my expectations were like right down here, and it turned out to be quite an entertaining movie because like next thing it was the end, and it's like, damn, I haven't slept yet. But so yes, it was quite good. It's not my most favorite. I would probably say Spider-Man did beat it. There were a couple of points, as I said, like my mother's, and I'm like, and then there's a point where they're in the alternate universe, which apparently is how they're going to get these things all brought over, where they had a council with Mr. Fantastic. He was there, but Captain Marvel was black, and there wasn't a Captain America. It was Captain Carter, where Agent Carter was now Captain Carter with a shield with a British flag on it.
Who's Captain Marvel being played by? Seriously,
Brie Larson. She was Brie Larson, but now, they had the original Agent Carter, who was now Captain Carter. This was in the alternate multiverse type thing.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, I see what you're saying.
And then the original, then the Captain Marvel, who's actually a white blonde, which is Brie Larson, was a black lady. Which I have no problem with black ladies. Let me just tell you that. It was just like
a shocker. You didn't expect Marvel. It. But I can get that. That's fine, because I don't know if people. I think they didn't do Brie Larson justice. The people, I think she did try hard, but I don't think she knew what she was getting into exactly either.
Apparently, she's an absolute wench to work with. Nobody likes her. I've seen so much on Brie Larson hatred and things like that. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like,
but what you've created yet to start off with is you've started off with saying basically that you've come from Marvel, which is a absolutely wonderful journey that has been wonderful for a soul, for a mind, and for creativity, and it has brought families and directed them in directions of good, of integrity, of doing for others, of not expecting back, and etc. etc. I think that's what you've just been building up to and saying this is what you have known the Marvel universe to be.
Yes. So I think we need a sure Look, where we get our entertainment from at the end of the day is our responsibility. It's just such a pity. And I said this to you. I loved when I saw X-Men. Look, obviously I wasn't exposed to the comics. Maybe my dad had a few. My dad was born in 1932, actually. He was an old man by the time he had me. I think he had me at 56. And I wish he'd maybe shared that part of the world, or maybe I know in South Africa, but because there was apartheid here, South Africa wasn't exposed to all of that. We got if and but and maybe something from overseas. I mean, the fact that
Wit tier.
it's like, oh,
Ruiter in swart.
in a way, it saved us. In a way, it saved us because a friend of mine's just traveled to the US, and she was in, I don't want to get it wrong, but the western side.
Yeah.
And she says people just do not care. People are just so far from, they in their gluts. I know that's a made up word, but they're in their gluts. They totally for their animalistic self. And that sounds insane, but
it's all about
me. We all have an animalistic self, all of us, on some primal plateau. We all have and the Americans are, look, in fact, I take the fifth. I'm taking them. No. And it's so sad because it's the people that these children and young people look up to. Have there been proper role models?
Mm-hmm. That's why I say everyone's born with an integral boat. It's how it's steered. I mean, you are born with absolute pure integrity and pure intention and everything to that effect. It's what you are surrounded with and how you are guided through your life that actually determines your actual outlook on life. However, you do reach a point in life where it becomes your own. So before everyone goes, oh, well, it's mom and dad. No, it's you. Because if mom and dad were an alcoholic and you were successful, who is that?
The blanket of truth. This is a hand-stitched.
Wow, it looks silk. Isn't it silk?
It is. It could be silk. From actually my cousin, my stubborn cousin.
I think that comes from the Amazonian ladies. I think Wonder Woman came from that era.
Oh, right, of course. No, but we're talking Marvel here, gentlemen. We're not talking DC. It's all fluffing. I need to get it. I'm sudsking.
Listen, I have to talk DC because
cold.
Gal Gadot is just
gorgeous. Hello, Alison Johnson. Welcome. So Alison Johnson, what's your experience? Have you seen, I don't know how old you are, but I mean, do you love a good, entertaining movie? Do you like something where the wrong is righted? There's that. Don't like, no, but we're talking Marvel here. Okay, so who's your best Marvel character? You mentioned it earlier.
Arbot, lasso of truth, Wonder Woman. Yes, lasso me. Sorry.
Yeah, no. We wish. No. I wish I was doing.
Okay, mind out of DC gutter and back onto screen.
DC. Right. So Marvel. I love the X-Men.
X-Men are fantastic. I love the joke on the first X-Men where they were on their first uniforms, the very first X-Men.
Okay.
And Wolverine's like looking at their uniforms. I think they had the blue uniforms. And he says, we get to wear this. And I don't know who it was, Scott, the guy with the Cyclops.
And
he says, what did you expect? Yellow spandex. And I nearly lost it out of my seat because in the comics, Wolverine has yellow spandex on. And then
blue. And yellow
says, what did you expect? Yellow spandex on.
Yes.
I do agree with what they did in the movies. They upgraded their uniforms in that a little bit, which was very nice. But X-Men are one of my favorites as well. Yeah. Although
I'm sorry, I'm not watching comments, and I don't know. I can't seem to add dearest Cam because he has been. If anyone has a loyalty in this world, it's Cameron.
I will tell
Cameron,
you that.
I don't know where the button is, Cam, to make you a mod, my darling. Forgive me, but you are one of the most loyal. Like, I've got a little star there next to you. There's a star. I was hoping it would highlight and like.
Yeah.
But
every name their favorite model.
Everyone.
Oh,
no, listen, everyone. Things are going to change. Things get uncomfortable. That's life. but we have to remember it for what it is and what its real message is, you know.
Well, the
Like
lady,
Marvel,
what
like to me, look, I'm still a DC girl, and that's why I said like I know the English is a bit rushed, like love it or hate it, it's still it's a cool thing. Like I don't know about you, but well, especially after I watched DC, okay, even X-Men. Listen, I love Mystique. I think she is. That would be my superpower. In fact, it's a nightmare I have regularly. That Mystique. Either someone who can have Mystique's powers is after me, and she keeps morphing into like other people that I trust and love, like run, you know. But if I could have any power, that would kind of be cool. That would kind of be cool. I think.
I'm trying to
Who
think
would
what I'd
want what
like.
powers? Buzzy, what power would you want? Patrick?
Hello, Buzzy, and Hendo
I
and
personally love
Patrick
Marble.
and
Fair
everyone. I
enough.
haven't I haven't greeted half the people yet. Sorry.
No, listen, forgive me. I'm so of not of this planet at this moment. We've had one lunch, you know.
I've
It
had
took
the day.
I think my day streams, if I do a day stream, you know you're gonna like this is a
Once
journey to
Hendo,
listen to while you partaking
sorry,
in good herbs.
sorry, Hendo. He was promoting my link all over the place, and I just put a
Oh,
link on
Hendo
there.
says Wolverine's his best, of course.
But I put the link as a link to this show because we're going to have this one today. So it was just a little thumbnail with take a look in the description. There's the link to where it's going to be today. Alison,
All right,
Alison's a teacher. She knows everything as well. There we go.
Yes.
No time for movies.
I'm
all the movies. You have to watch them. You got to keep up with the kids.
Yes. This is the thing. Alison, I was going to say it. He's hit the nail on the head. You have to know what's flying. But yeah, apparently a teacher was at Girls High oh God, I've gone and said it now. Okay, never mind. You don't know which Girls High or a girls or some high school for girls or something. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Never mind. I never said anything.
Girls
Never mind. Scratch
High.
that. Scratch that comment. Strike it dead. But you know, it's our generation, I think, that is completely lost as well, unfortunately, because to allow children to mutilate themselves and not have proper guidance in this world and not even feel comfortable talking about their own bodies and what feels natural and what comes natural, and to make them either fearful or not discuss it at all. Like Cameron says, he never got to watch. Like you say, you never got to watch because that was die duivels awesome. Dis die duivel spreek speel twinniking ringening
like because we didn't have TV.
Well, that too. There were no movies.
Thanks, Hendo. Look, I must reiterate back again. Hendo, Buzzy, and Cameron. Just like, you know what? I don't think there would be an echo without them. Thanks, guys. But I agree with what you're saying. The experience. I think you're trying to. I think you're trying to impress upon people the feeling, the experience, the absolute enigma that you have.
Connection
from that. And at the moment, I think that is being destroyed. That family, that fantasy, that goodness, that the story is being destroyed. I have a thing here that it says, and it was from Nerdomatic. The one guy was just talking about it, and he says you can express any type of message if you prioritize good storytelling. But you cannot get a good storytelling when you prioritize the message. And I think that's where Marvel's got it wrong now. Instead of pressing the story and creating an absolute atmosphere and environment that you can get lost in, they are trying to push a message. 10-year-old.
Yeah, Hindu. I don't know where are you in Cape Town? I think I don't know where Hindu's from, but there was
Hindu is currently in the UK.
Oh, in the US. No, listen. When I went to the UK, I wanted to go. I went to a comic shop. I went to like Warner World or something somewhere in the UK. But anyway, I could have bought the whole shop. But anyway.
It's amazing what comics cost these days. Just talking about that, I used to get 50 cents a weekend pocket money, and as I said, from about 6 I could do comics and that. So I used to have 50 cents, which I went to the movies with. I lived in a small town called Lime Acres in the middle of the country, South Africa somewhere. And I used to be able to go to the movies, buy a little bottle of Coke and either a packet of chips or the Chiquito chocolates, whoever remembers those, and go swimming. And the next day I'd have 20 cents for church until I discovered the wonderful world of comics. And they were 20
you put
cents
your
a comic.
ties into your comics.
Now, I
But
tithed
technically,
the
the
comic.
would only be 5 cents. So
Now, what are they costing now? They 90, $100 a comic?
$100. I don't even know.
No,
I don't
rand,
even know.
rand,
Like
rand. No,
rand. Yeah, I'm
there was a
sure.
place
Anything,
in.
I'm sure. I'd love to, if I had money to blow, and that's what someone was saying as well. Like, what would you do if you had all that money to blow? Like, would you be doing blow or doing other things? Like, because I look at the whole, shit show that's going
Lack of
on with the
self-control.
media,
No,
and they're just constantly on blow. Those people, it's insane.
no, there was in Edenvale. My wife used to work, and just down the road was a comic store in Edenvale, and actually on Edenvale Road. And sometimes I was a little bit early to fetch her, and I'd just drive down and stop at the comic store and go in and just take a look. And I could not believe the price. I mean, they 80, 90, 100 for the good stuff. I mean,
Sure.
you get the sale stuff for like about 30, 40 rand, and 80, 90, 100 rand for the good stuff.
Okay.
And it's like, where's the 20-cent comics? But
no, but it's because Iran's gone to hell. That's why. Iran dollars are nearly worthless. Well, sure, not as bad as the ruble, but yeah.
What does Alison
But they
say?
don't
We are
have to
trying to
worry.
suspend a 9-year learner for various things. She refuses to go to the principal's office because she knows she's getting suspended on Thursday. She had a dacha in her class.
What is this in Cambodia?
No. We have also different things here, but
Yeah.
I'm just looking at that. Yeah, it just goes to show that these days.
But the president in one of his last addresses, family gatherings, what did they used to call it? Family meetings. Said that he wants to promote the sale, or at least start using it as like it should become Africa's gold, marijuana. I believe. I've always felt that. It's true. What? And you know what? It would stop all the other bullshit, all the terrorism, all the poaching and the nonsense and all of that. Because I think
Everything
I
that
hope
wasn't
so.
legal, that has become legal, was supposed to stop it as well, and it hasn't. People just want more and more and more.
No, I don't know if you've watched my show with the crime expert, but everything's linked. But there are wholesome people that can grow it, and anyone can grow it. And if they're really good at it. They can have an income. And the main reason everything's so shot to shit is, well, now we're talking about politics, but everything's been stolen. What should have gone to the people has not gone to the people, and that's why there's issues.
No,
it hasn't been managed
I
properly
agree.
at all. After the World Cup, gone. Like they realized how much they could grab and just
ran. No, I'm not disagreeing with you that legal wouldn't be a problem. But what I'm saying is it's not going to solve our problems, because people, as you've just pointed out, are people who want more and want more. So now this is legal, okay, but that's not good enough. I want something else. I want something else. I want something else. I want this. I want that. That's not good enough.
No, but haven't you? I mean, I go through phases, and I actually realized this last holidays, right? Like April holidays, and it's that time of year on the Christian calendar where it's the Easter, and then of course it's on the Jewish calendar around that time also. It's Passover, and it's almost like a 2nd or 1st December, because I know things have gone up, but like, I don't know how people do it. Like, we have to start thinking smartly. I don't know if you follow, I think it's Gravitas, and they had a debt sort of review. Okay, we're talking about politics, and we should be talking about Marvel. But anyway, but it's still the core value of and that's a fantasy. That's why all those things, imagine even that we want that to be our reality, it's not. And people who try and live up to that expectation, we all have our limitations. Right, but the life is very, very hard for some, and it's consideration, and it's that integrity that is important.
Currently, till now, till lately, comic books and Marvel was actually a lesson in integrity and how to do things right. They've even learned to warp that. And that's the problem that I think we're foreseeing at the moment, because that wonderful mindset that you have of what Marvel and Stanley created is being absolutely, what's this, Fergie, Kevin Feige is absolutely just trashing it. And my question is, has Marvel overcorrected?
The
And
pendulum.
which audience are they? Yeah, and which audience are they playing to now? Because
an audience that doesn't know what the fuck they want.
Because the mainstream audience wants exactly what you were saying, what you've been talking about. Your mainstream audience wants the family franchise, wants that. What did I say? It was a combined culture. I think it is.
No, no matter how you try and
freedom.
spell it, slice it, dice it, they've changed.
But that's what your main viewership wants.
Is it?
Yes, it is, because that's
an algorithm. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Your media, your critics, and your actors.
Really.
Funnily enough, your actors as well. Some of your actors are driving the audience to which these movies are starting to play for now,
because it benefits them. They
developed for now. And so this is why they're driving a message and trying to write a story around their message. I think, as you said, pendulum, totally overcorrection. That's why I said it's not becoming the MCU. It's now become the MCU, is what they're calling it. I won't watch Eternals, because Eternals is an absolute... It's an absolute doghouse. Where, you know what, you were talking about children being allowed to be children. And the effect of, and sorry, you know what, guys, I have nothing against anyone, please. I just have a problem with the movie and actually shoving anything down my throat. I don't want to watch a horror movie because it bores me. I sit there and I die of boredom. It's just like, I can't stand it. Some people like the fright. I forget to get the fright. But the bottom line is, you get to these things like Eternals, and Eternals has a deaf, they go away and they come back with their powers. They have a deaf girl. They have a child with
I know. Okay, anyone can look it up. Let's not go there. I don't want to waste our precious time talking about this stupid... I watched Morbius last night. Now, I understand it's gotten bad views. Now, you walked into Strange with no expectation.
Yeah.
TG came with me to watch Wonder Woman, and he was like, oh my God, I cannot... Like, he was also ready to put his little jacket up and make Lala time, right? And he was pleasantly surprised with that. And the action, the churn, loved it. Loved Gal Gadot. Listen, princess for sure.
They didn't even have to have a story on Wonder Woman. They could just have Gal Gadot run across the screen.
This is the thing, right? So now am I that way inclined? I can appreciate beauty. I can appreciate beauty in any human being, or I can see pure fraught evil, but not most of the time. That's why my villain, my nemesis, is this shapeshifter. Like go away, leave me alone. But I have my bracelets of power, you see. I have my bracelets of power. Like that. Yes, my bangles are...
Oh, you got them on?
Yeah. I've got them on. And I've got my crown. Thank you. My tiara. My... what's it? Diana. Anyway. So, Morbius. I don't know. I love Jared Leto. I was also not... For Joker, I wanted to see more of him in Joker. As the Joker. Right? It's like I told you on our conversation before. With DC, it's like they nearly bring you to climax and then they let you go. Can you just get it right? Please. Can we have one follow through? It's honestly, listen, I know what frustration is. Not necessarily in that way, but it's like I want a continuation of the same, and I want to see more I love X-Men. I love
Mhm.
James McAvoy. I, I want to see him like gain some mutant telepathic power and leave that wheelchair forever.
And somebody mentioned it earlier in the message in the chat. Dr. Gray from X-Men.
Mm,
Yes, beautiful lady, fantastic powers.
mm, mm.
But X-Men in general was just a constant. You know what I liked about it? There was no drag. I hate
Yeah.
it when a movie starts with a drag. I've just actually watched the Batman this afternoon. Now I know it's
Oh, did
DC.
you? Well
Yeah,
done.
sort of like watched it, fell asleep, rewinded it an hour, and carried on watching the rest of it. But because the missus went off to do her hair and everything to that effect, so I was left to my own devices. But
Listen,
they could have shortened that movie. They really could have shortened that movie.
that's what I said to TG. I said the one night, listen, we're gonna watch we have to start at 6:30. Like I cannot watch a 3-hour movie and still be up at 12 and go to work the next
Yeah,
day. No.
it's
No.
really.
But I
First of
enjoyed
all,
it.
I don't
I
enjoy.
enjoyed
I don't
the
enjoy the actor.
I think it was pulled off. I liked the
Richard.
darkness of it. Of course, there was also woke.
Yeah.
Listen, I can understand. And this is going to come if I have too much and I have my girlfriends around me. I show such bounding love for them, right? That some people say, "Hey, what's it? Is it Biggie Skiff?" No, I'm not Biggie Skiff. Like,
No,
like
it was
I
okay.
just
It wasn't that bad in that sense. Because I have like this like woke radar these days in movies. It just ticks me off to high heaven. Don't shove it down my throat. And as you said, kids are kids these days, and we're not letting them be kids. You're not letting them. When they were 10, 11, 12, you're not saying enjoy being a child. You're going, well, what do you identify as?
no,
I
no,
want to
wait,
go
wait.
and play. Yeah, but before you play, what do you identify as? And we'll tell you what to play with, and that type of thing. So this
So
is what you don't want to give kids. You want to let them enjoy that absolutely imaginative,
realm.
yeah, that they just fly into and become the hero and enjoy the hero and the thrill and the excitement and the disheartening and the heart sore and the happiness
So
and just walking out there with a million different feelings, emotions is the thing.
so so I have a teenager, okay, and I'm very proud of my said teenager. But when he always needed real guidance in terms of, I don't know what to do, I don't know where I'm going, and I said to him, when I was your age, I felt exactly the same, and some days I still feel exactly the same. And it's
Myself.
amazing how important role models are for these children. And I believe in it, and I state it again. Like whether it was Spider-Man having his uncle, whether it was, and obviously his Aunt May, um, any character, any character having a sensei, a master.
Mm.
What has become terrible in this day and age is that young people do not have masters. And that sounds
They,
horrendous. That sounds not masters,
they do not have people
even
to look up to,
guidance.
is
And
what you want
that's
to
what,
say.
yeah, and the role of teachers is so important. And you've you've got to allow someone to be, and it does sound woke, like be who they are, but with guidance of saying to them, if you're not sure of what to do, there's a adage: if you don't know what to do, what do? Nothing. You don't do anything if you're not sure what to do, because the last thing you want to be doing is making rash decisions and having experiences that do not line up with your integrity, your feeling. Yeah, you just do nothing, and it's scary to do nothing. It's in a state of limbo, and sometimes people can only do nothing. And I just say, just ride the wave. Just ride the wave, man. Like in another life, I'm coming back as a surfer. I promise you that.
No, look, if someone at school says to me, I don't know if I'm a boy or a girl, then I'll just call Nancy, kick this one in between the legs. And if there's major pain, you're a boy. If you didn't feel anything, you're a girl. That's it. No,
Okay.
I'm kidding.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I
But
don't think
what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to guide yourself along in life. All I'm saying is that when you're a child of about 10 years old, you're not concentrating on sexuality. You're concentrating on mind development. You're
Yeah.
concentrating on imagination. You're concentrating on being a child. And that should be encouraged, and that should be grown within a child, and not suddenly like these messages coming through is, do you know who you want to be? You know,
No, so it's a
what do you
very fine
identify
line.
as? Do you like girls or boys? You know, when
No,
you're
but it's
10 years
become the
old, you like
focus.
girls and boys because
Exactly.
they're
It's
your
become the
friends.
focus now. You have to know who you are. By age 12, you have to know who you are, what's happening, where you're going, what's da da da. And there's so much pressure, and I think, and that's the key. That's the key. And that's where I think it's important to share a link with your teenager, with someone where you talk about the standee, where you give a history, where you give an in-depth sight, and you say, don't feel alone. Even the Bible, if you want to go there, even the Bible. These people went through, like people say, oh, the Bible's a cake. Is it now? Do you not think it's, some of those stories are bold and the beautiful, also in polished brush, ne? Like, do you know what I mean? You know, there's all sorts of wacky and wonderful experiences, and everyone at the end of the day has the same need. And also talking, I think, to children about being comfortable, like, and I don't want to embarrass you, obviously, but I need my hens for this. We don't talk about sex enough with our children. We don't talk about, you know, girls or boys masturbation, how it's growing, what it's doing, you know, none of it. We people are so devoid, and it's so important to be, you know, talking as a parent, and even as a teacher, as an educator, and even as a, I don't want to say special uncle, because that's just
Tell me where your special uncle touched you.
no,
I'm kidding.
no, but you know, there are so many,
I hear
always
what
an
you're
auntie.
saying, but there are ways and means and people that should be introducing this to children. It should be a parent. It should be the role model. It should be a trusted
Should be a class
adult
study.
in their lives. It shouldn't be
History.
at a movie. It shouldn't be at school. It shouldn't be at school. Yes, you should learn to cope with things in life, but when you actually going across, and now we're like totally off the subject, across sexuality, and you're actually talking about sex, and you're talking about intimacy, and you're talking about all different kinds of acts and your body parts, etc., etc. There's a way to bring it in at different ages, and there's a person to bring it in as well, and that should be done by a trusted person, a mother, a father. Corona's boring said
Sometimes
aren't
there
great
is no mom
superheroes
and dad.
orphans, so then it would be your
This is
uncle
the
or your
problem.
aunt or somebody that you've been
Most
that is your role model.
Most superheroes are adopted.
Yeah.
Stan Lee literally said, "You're cast out into the ocean. Whoever you are, whether you feel stoksila lien, heeltemal.
I don't even know what that 18. Sorry, I was
Pardon?
reading a comment.
Well, put it. Which one is it?
No, just with
The age 12 one, Hindu.
yeah, age 12. Fogman don't even know how they are even at 18. But sorry, you were saying.
No. So people who, you can feel so alone in this world, and just know, like, and it's hectic, but everything, like I said, takes time and healing, and sometimes it's a process, but know that it will pass. Like, I have this, there's a clip, I mentioned the eclipse earlier. There's definitely an awakening happening. People are realizing the bullshit. And it's so important for our children to know that there is bullshit. And at the end of the day, no one can force you. The first thing, I'm so glad I got the message at some point growing up with my son and telling him, there are 7 billion people on this planet. Not everyone's going to like you, and you're not going to like everyone else. And so what? What you do in this world, you are responsible for. You have to take accountability. Right? And that's another with great power comes great responsibility.
Spider-Man said.
And I don't want to know the shit show that's going to come from all this woke nonsense. It's I actually just feel so, especially for the ones that are still learning, not young kids, but the teenagers of the world. And I mean, the suicide, it's just shocking. Like, parents need to switch off the devices, and here I am blabbling when my teenagers, obviously, but thank God he's in tune with history. He's in tune with getting to know what's what. Give them a hobby. Tantalize. If they're keen on a game, why are they into that particular game? What is, focus on what makes them happy. Take their mind off worrying about tomorrow. Like, it's important to teach them now. Be present, parents. Yes.
Yeah,
Be
instead
present
of
teachers. Be present teachers.
be present teachers. That's the problem with parents, and I'm sorry to say that, but parents sometimes expect teachers to bring their kids up. Parents expect teachers to teach their children manners. Parents expect teachers to be the ones to guide and encourage and bring up, and it's absolutely ridiculous when you know what, a teacher is there to teach a subject to a child, not to teach
Not
them integrity, morals,
Yes. Mm.
how to. And I'm telling
How
you,
to
it
treat
is
people.
amazing how many parents just don't care. And if the child
Mm.
isn't doing that, well, why didn't the teacher tell him? Well, because the teacher's teaching history, not how to.
You know what I find amazing with I suppose the superhero, you almost get the feeling that they're actually asexual in a way, because there's a romantic kiss but there's no, I mean, there's that Superman Invisible Man joke, which I won't tell now. I actually realize lots of kids do not watch this. I'll put a spoiler alert. But it sexuality is normal and it will come, and that's what you have to tell kids. However you feel is normal, unless they're hurting themselves or hurting someone around them, it's wrong.
Yeah.
If it's done
But-
out of anger or rage or acting out, it's wrong.
But going
And
back
if
to your Marvel comics and Marvel movies, originally, no such thing came up. That wasn't what the
It was
Marvel.
about.
That wasn't what it was about. It was dealing
Right.
with life's challenges. It was dealing, like was said there. Most of them were like orphans or had their parents die young. I mean, Bruce Wayne, Spider-Man, and most of them have had some kind of curveball thrown at them in life. And this is how you cope with it. And this is how
Most
they've
of us
coped with
have.
it.
Most of us have. We all
But
have stuff. We all have
somehow
stuff.
that brought through how to cope with it with integrity. Most of
Yeah.
us have, I agree. And these days, it's not like, well, yes, life's curveball. It's like, this is what life needs to be about. And it's like, no, it's not.
Mm-mm. Well, this was a fantastic Sunday conversation. I think for those of you can and will take something away from this, I think.
Yes.
Look,
Sorry,
I know it wasn't very
pushed
put
the
together.
woke button too much over there on the side and spoilt the
No, but it's just. But have a look. Listen to some of the other YouTube channels that talk about like. Maybe I should look at my history, but I'm too scared to touch anything now. Teacher's not yet.
There's one that's called the Daily Wire's got one, is
Yes.
wokeness killing the Marvel
Yes.
franchise.
Yes, watch.
There's one by Baggage Claim says this is toxic. The Daily Wire again. There was one by the Court Ring, although he does just complain a lot.
But Matt Walsh, there's also Matt Walsh who's got this new thing out. I posted on my What is a Woman?
Nerdrotic as well.
No, look, it's very conservative. I have a rule. I don't hate anyone. I try not. I really do. I don't hate anyone. However, don't force me to obey or do something that you want, and treat me with respect or kindness, and I'll treat you in the same manner. You know, literally how others treat you, do unto you as you would have them do unto you.
Touche. I feel this. I feel the same way. You know what? I have no problem on your decisions in life. Just don't force me to have it. Or bring it into every conversation you have. You know, I've had people that cannot, and I've had a great friend that is, bless his soul, is passed now, but he was a very good friend of mine, and I still keep the one photograph of us in my Bible. And he was as gay as a lark, but he was probably my best friend. And when I went through some of my hardest times, he would walk in there and they'd give him beans and he'd say, "Fuck off, he's my friend." Sorry for the, I hope you don't get struck or something like that for there. But and you know what? Agree with what he's doing. I couldn't imagine anything worse. A great person. I couldn't imagine anyone better. So you know what? I have no problem with people. But he also never in every sentence had to shove down. Or we're talking about cars. Yes, did you see the pink car with the no? We're talking about history. Yes, did you know so? Somewhere along the line, there's got to be life.
Yes, and I think that's the escapism of watching these things is it takes us away from the seriousness of life, but it has to show us in each and one of us is alone, and that's why it's so important just to show a different perspective.
I think Marvel should stick to storytelling and stop trying to put stories in. Stop trying to give messages and building a story around that. Let the story give the message, as the comic books used to.
No, I think she was just someone high up. Well, we know who up. We know, actually, ironically enough, if it wasn't for the man she was married to, she wouldn't have got that role in the first place. We all had trauma at a young age.
What's it? We all had trauma.
What are you laughing? No, I'm laughing.
I'm laughing at the Amber Heard thing that you said. We all know if it was the man she was married to.
Yeah, I know.
They help kids cope.
How do you? Yeah, but I think we've touched. Okay, who are you reading? You're good at the comments. You're very good.
I'm trying to learn.
On this computer, the font's a bit small. The screen's a bit small, and I need to change it. But if I had the experience where I've touched buttons and it goes crazy. I need to practice more. I need to practice more.
I would love to have
more. Make Cameron or change someone as a moderator.
I would love to have more chats with you, though. You have the most bubbly personality. I think you have a superpower in personality because it's just bubbly and it is addictive and.
Well, we'll let the audience decide, shall we? We'll let the audience decide.
Everyone say yes. Say yes for Ruth's bubbling personality.
Listen, I love Marvel. We didn't get to Morbius. Maybe I'll try and beg TG to
Let's go
to
for Morbius. I'm not. You've got a timeline. I don't.
It's late. What's the time there in Cambodia?
No, it's only 8 o'clock. I only phone Mom at 10.
Only 8. Okay, we could have done this at 4. No, I'm teasing. But the truth is, now I'm starting again with it's like my step. It's my step. Morbius. So Jared Leto, I would have loved to see more his character develop in the Joker because it's almost like they gave us Easter eggs of the Joker. I don't know. I wanted to see much more of him. He's a brilliant actor. I enjoyed him in Morbius. But I sort of got the feeling, and TG said, yeah, it's kind of the story we've all seen before. And when you see his nemesis look across the window at his potential love, spoiler alert, you think, yeah, we know where this is going. But I think it was cleverly done. The story was cleverly thought, cleverly done. I enjoyed it could have been better. It could have been worse. It's 2 hours of my life that I'll never get back.
I'll try that, and I'll go and destroy 2 hours of my life now as well.
Listen, the amount of shit that people are watching on the work channels now. I mean, I'm seriously thinking of doing other things with my money. When it comes to watching certain things, I'm very specific about what I like. I like historical dramas. Look, I'm dying for the new Game of Thrones. I can't wait for that. I'm very keen to see what
House of Dragons.
Yes, I'm very keen. Yes. Even though we woke up every week 3 o'clock in the morning to watch that. 3 o'clock in the morning, Game of Thrones, middle of winter, freezing our asses off. There goes, they're like, yeah. No, don't drink coffee or we won't get back to sleep. Like, get the chips. Yeah, that's why I look the way I do. Like, PG's a feeder when he watches movies. And apparently the new Avatar is also coming out.
I'm worried about it. Yes, it is coming out. But I'm worried that they are going to walk it. But yeah. And you know what? Avatar was such a brilliant movie. It was my very, very first 3D movie that I watched that was actual 3D.
Yes.
And it was such a brilliant movie to me. And I have such great memories of Avatar. Yeah. I'm really, really worried about
maybe that's what we should do. Do not expect anything. Don't expect a thing, people. Not a thing.
Look, Doctor Strange was nice, as I said. So is a cup of tea. But yeah, so I and I'm not going to throw toys out of the cot and say, flares, here we go. But it was good. It was better than expected. I'd say it's possibly better than the first one. The first one is a bit let down to me, so I was expecting very little of it. But what I'm looking forward to, IMAX, 27th of March, Top Gun Maverick. And I want to see if it can live up to the original Top Gun.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Top Gun
I need
came
to
out 80,
prioritize.
was it in the 80, 88, 89, 87, 88?
80,
Was it?
I'd take a guess.
No,
88. 88. Someone can tell us when was Top Gun even, was it as late as that? Wasn't it 86 even? I don't
quite
know.
possible, yeah.
I remember going to watch it on the big screen, the very big
Yes.
screen, the drive-in.
Oh, no, I went to Steak Nicole, and I think it
Okay.
cost me R1.50.
And you dress up to the nines. Remember when you went to the movies? You dress up to the nines, like cologne, shave. Like the men were in there. I remember being invited to someone's birthday party. We were lucky enough to go to the movies. And
Thanks, Patrick. 1986.
Yes, there I said 1986. I had a feeling. I knew it was young. I was very young. And no, it was it at the drive-in? I don't know. They put it up on a projector somewhere, and I think it is after school event or something. But yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. And you know how hard it is to come by movies? I've watched such shit movies in the last while. Listen, I haven't processed The Huntsman. I watched The Huntsman the other night. What's her name? The one that Nicole Kidman. Look, Nicole Kidman is fabulous. She deserves another Oscar. Her time is nigh. She does. She's a true actress. She really is. I loved her in Others. Remember The Others? Was it The Others or Others?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that one.
Do yourself a favor if you like. It's a bit dark and it's good to fall asleep to as well. But the twist in it and the just sang it home for me. That was remarkable. But we can sit here talking about movies all afternoon long. I hope our viewers. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm sorry we weren't.
It's been super. We should do it again and maybe just have a flat out movie chat and see, because I've also had my share of. I watched Ninja Assassins. I think somewhere along the line was the biggest load of.
I think TG was watching it. TG was. What about the new Karate Kid? He used to watch that. He binge series watched that. Some of it was a bit fun. Some of it was, I don't know. A lot of people liked it.
No, rather watch Cobra Kai.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one.
It's so nostalgic. It's just not funny. That's what makes it good, is the nostalgia.
Yeah, it's like the dwarf comedy. Yeah, no. Anyway, it has been absolutely super. We should actually just have a movie chat sometime. I don't know what everybody thinks about that, and we can shoot onto that. I love my movies.
Yeah, it's really, really good, and it's sometimes sad that the good stuff is going for a ball. I mean, my favorite James Bond is going for a ball, and all that wonderful stuff. So a good one, the I know it's an old one, but the Assassin's Wife's Bodyguard with Salma Hayek in it. Well, anything with Salma Hayek's good. I don't know what the story was about, but she was. No, I'm kidding.
That was Ryan Reynolds as well, wasn't it?
Yes.
And
I'm not the biggest Ryan Reynolds fan, but he did well there.
I have huge respect.
I didn't like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
No, you said you didn't like Deadpool. I can understand, but watch it again. Do yourself a favor. And this is what I'm learning about myself and life. Sometimes everything needs a little bit of like second chance, okay? We all need a second chance in life, because I mean, even we get this from the 10 commandments. Like there were 2 sets of tablets. It got a second chance. You need a second chance in life, you know. Ryan Reynolds definitely deserved, and he is funny as fuck. Okay, he is. What was the other one that he was in recently? The Changes or the Changeling, or
it was Red Notice.
Yeah, I have to watch it again. I have to see. I don't know if I was in the right. I enjoyed it, but
it was okay. It was one of those fun things, like Romancing the Stone, Michael Douglas, and
what about Adams? What was it? Meeting Adams or something? I don't know. Something Adam, Finding Adam or something. You know, I'm
Adam Project. There we go.
Okay. Yes.
And Free Guy.
Free Guy was also funny.
Free Guy. I am in partition of Free Guy. I'm watching it in part because it's just like,
How long is it?
it's not long. It's like an hour and a half, I think.
Like what the stream is going to be ending up in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's lovely talking to you, Andre. I hope everyone's had a good time, good laugh.
Yes,
Thank
indeed,
you,
sir.
occupied.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Everybody.
I really would
Greetings,
like to have chats again, but it has been a super time. Thank you
awesome.
very much.
Okay, on, we're going to just say cheers to our audience. Goodbye, everybody. Take care and have a marvelous week. La Luna might be making an appearance. We will see. Comment below if you want a La Luna appearance. Yes, must comment for La Luna tonight. Black Moon. Yes, see, yes. Give your say. Yes, and share the shit out of this thing because people need to laugh.
Yeah, like and share. How many likes are there? I can't see.
I don't know. I have no idea. Goodbye, everybody. Take care.
Cheers, take care. Be good and be kind.
Cheers.